It's the second day of spring and we're getting dumped on. I'm gonna get soaked. But you can't have a good day without a bad day. We're gonna talk about how shocking the system is required for continual improvement. Visibility, half a mile. So what do I say? You can't have a good day without a bad day? Because it's all about comparison. We need to shock the system so the body has that comparison also for improvement. The body gets better by having to adapt. And if we're doing the same thing over and over and over again, it no longer has to adapt. We hit a plateau. It's actually really pleasant out here. Whether you're fasting, whether it's in your training, whether it's in with your thinking, if we do the same thing over and over and over again, there's no comparison, there's no adapting, there's no way for the body to continue to evolve and improve performance. All right, right in the tree. With the visibility, can't quite sure. It maybe looks like an osprey, which is a form of a water eagle and are very common along the Snake River. Just kind of hanging out. I don't know, it's kind of sitting there like a baldy, nice and tall. Might be too big for an osprey. With the weather, I don't want to disturb it though, so we're just gonna guess today. I keep getting closer and it's definitely a bald eagle staring right at me. Staring right at us. All right, I get the road now. Should be pretty good conditions. During the winters, when I do the majority of my runs in a very, very minimal shoe, I use zero shoes and they're essentially nothing there other than a little bit of protection. And then today, I throw on my all-day mountain shoe that's got a little bit more of a stack height to it, so I'm able to run well all day long in the mountains. And I feel like I can just go all day. Still low to the ground, still get a natural running experience, but with just a little bit more, because my body adapted to that minimal environment over the winter. And now my purpose is always to be able to go as minimal as possible based on the distance and terrain I'm going. So again, my feet now have that comparison. Train them all winter long in a very, very minimal environment, and now they can go all day in an industry standard minimal shoe. Comparison. So see your shoes as a tool, a way for your body to have to adapt and evolve and get better through comparison. It's not even icy underneath. It's a good, I don't know, 5-inch layer of new snow. And it's just really nice. Even this snowstorm is going to give me my body comparison. It's slow going. My cadence is out the window. I'm having to trudge through the snow. And all this is going to do is when it melts out, my legs are just gonna feel so much faster. Comparison. If you're an ultra runner out there, have you ever noticed how when you're racing or training at night, when your body has no perspective of distance because it's dark, you only have what's 6 feet in front of you with your light, how time flies because you have a different comparison, a different perspective. One of my new athletes this year came to me inquiring about working on strength and form to then allow her to apply that to her ultra running aspirations. So when we first started, kind of right after the first of the year, we worked on form. She had some knee issues, so we had to work on strength and form at the same time. And working on strength running, doing a lot of running a lot easier, and added a little volume, and added a track day of 200 to 400 meter efforts. This athlete was a self-admitted, I do the same thing all the time. I don't vary anything. So just this added variety of form, strength, slower, easier running, but with a little bit more volume with a track day, in a matter of a month, she improved her 1 mile time by 30 seconds, going under 6 minute pace. A lot's going on here, but overall, I think this immediate improvement had a lot to do with changing things up, shocking the system, shocking the form, changing what the body has to do in a good way that led to that huge improvement in a very short period of time. So look to add variety throughout your week and throughout your training phase. Every week should look different. I'm just coming off my recovery week where I went 3 weeks of building and progression in intervals, and my 4th week was recovery where I back off on my volume and what I'm doing. And during my 3-week build, the majority of my easy runs and shorter efforts were all done with a 16-hour fast, training my body to recruit fatty acid metabolism. When I needed a little bit more performance, a little bit longer intervals, I preloaded with a little bit of fuel. What this does is it keeps my body guessing. It gets used to recruiting fat for some runs. And then when I need a little higher output, it has the calories and the carbohydrates to fuel my muscles for that harder, longer effort. So again, I'm continuing to challenge and confuse my body so it has to adapt. Once I ended my 3-week build and went into my recovery, that's where I also ended my fasting, where I wanted to refuel my body on a consistent basis as it was restoring its muscle, which is the recovery. Recovery is where we get stronger, and I didn't want to fast during that time. I wanted to have my body just stabilize and really realize that recovery, because that's where I get better. Because today I feel amazing, okay? And it's all that process of continuing to make the body guess and to adapt and to progress. And today I feel amazing, and that'll continue to build throughout the season. Last week, Grand Teton National Park reported its first sighting of a grizzly coming out of hibernation. And so let's look at the grizzly, let's look at the bears coming out of hibernation, out of a fat burning state, and they have to retrain their body to start becoming more metabolically flexible, having more berries, having other food, having more food, because now they're going to be walking all over hundreds and hundreds of miles. Their body needs to become more metabolically flexible with different types of food to fuel that higher energy expenditure. Then as they get through fall, now they go into hibernation and they're training their body now to use all that stored fat for fuel. They're always training their body to adapt to what they need to do to survive. So if you're doing the same fasting protocol all the time, ask yourself if your body's already adapted and there's no longer a purpose or progression to it. If you're doing the same workouts all the time, the same type of running all the time, ask yourself, hey, have you hit a plateau? Is there no longer any adaptation going on or progression? All us runners tend to gravitate what we like to do and what we're good at. We're all good at something. In the early season is the best time to work on your weakness. So ask yourself, what type of run do I really not like doing? And that's most likely a weakness for you. Look to do that early season, and then as you progress closer to your higher priority races, you start adding more and more strength or what you're really good at. And the weakness is gonna help you with your strength. That's how we progress. Based on my physiology and my body makeup, my muscular makeup, my weakness is running flat and steady. I live here in the mountains, so most of what I do is in the mountains with a lot of vertical. So I tend to lose economy and efficiency during the summer and fall when I'm doing a lot of vertical. So during the winter, I'm working on my weakness of a lot of longer, flatter, steady effort, zone 2, zone 3, gear 1, gear 2 type of runs. So now my aerobic engines has that efficiency for when I really start to add more climbing. All right, I'm coming back up on Eddie the Eagle's perch. Let's see if he's still here. Whoa, it's icy there. I'm not seeing him. Yeah. Here's my faint tracks from earlier, filled in, and no Eddie the Eagle. Can't have a good day without a bad day. Over and out from the Snake River, over and out from Jackson Hole and Born to Run World.